Hi, I'm Antonia Ho. I'm an infectious disease consultant and an epidemiologist. So my job is to do studies to understand how diseases affect humans, and my particular interest is in respiratory viruses. So I'm here to give you an update on the studies on COVID-19 that I've been doing in the UK and Malawi over the past year. So in the UK, I've been coordinating the recruitment of the ISARIC4C study in Scotland. So that's the largest study in the world, recruiting patients who are admitted to hospital with COVID-19. So this time last year, we had recruited around 70,000 patients. We're now up to nearly 220,000 patients. So that's allowed us to make really important discoveries about how COVID-19 affects the body, from identifying, key human genes that are associated with severe disease to how COVID-19 affects kids, and also, patients who survive their COVID-19 admissions, whether they develop long COVID or not. For me, the analyses that I've been involved with, the studies I've been involved with within the study, firstly, I've been involved in generating the 4C mortality score. So this is a tool that allows clinicians who see patients at the front door to group them into 4 categories, from low, medium, high to very high risk of death when they come into hospital. And that helps them to direct patients who are at particular high risk of dying to the high dependency and intensive care unit early, and also to give them more intensive treatment. We're also now doing a study looking at how the score is being used in the UK hospitals during the second wave. We've also done a study looking at how frequently patients with COVID-19 in hospital have bacterial infection. So this is quite common in other respiratory viruses. So in flu, we frequently see people who also come in with a superimposed bacterial infection. It can lead to more serious illness, and of course we need to give people antibiotics. But we've been able to demonstrate that actually in people who come into hospital with COVID-19, that bacterial infection is really uncommon. And so we can recommend more restrictive antibiotics, and also the types of bugs that affect people with COVID-19 is different from the ones with flu. So that can help in the long term to reduce antibiotic resistance. I'm also the local principal investigator for the SIREN Study. So this is a big national study on healthcare workers looking at their long-term antibody response to SARS-CoV-2, and also their risk of reinfection. This is a really important group to study because, of course, they're at high risk of exposure to COVID-19. And also they were one of the first people to get vaccine. So proud to say that Glasgow, Greater Glasgow was the second top recruiter in the country. For this study, we have recruited over 1,200 participants, and hopefully this study will help generate really important information about the long-term antibody response to COVID-19. In Malawi, I'm also involved with a couple of studies. So last time I spoke to you about a study looking at SARS-CoV-2 exposure in healthcare workers compared to community members. So we managed to successfully complete that study. We recruited 150 healthcare workers and 150 community members in Blantyre, which is the second largest city in southern Malawi. And we followed them at 3 time points monthly during the first wave. And we basically demonstrated really high rates of infection. Most of them were asymptomatic, and this was previously unrecognized, and it led to the government to change their testing strategy. We are now doing a much bigger study in central and northern region, recruiting 1,000 participants in the north in a rural area called Karonga, and we've also recruited 1,000 participants in Lilongwe, which is the capital city in the central region. We've just completed the first round of the survey, so we're looking at looking at active infections, so again doing throat and nose swabs and taking blood to look at antibody response. And we're following this group of 2,000 participants over 4 time points over 12 months. So hopefully we'll be able to give you an update at a later date. But as you can see, COVID-19 has kept me pretty busy over the last 12 months. And thank you for listening.